We on the streets in the war zones, pushing this truth until we get called home. I got brothers I could fall on. Any situation, brothers I could call on. All we gotta do is log on. Send a chain message, seeing if the God's home. Our brother need help now. No matter what it is, we deny self now. Nobody getting let down. For the most high, we gotta put our best down. Man, I love this brotherhood. On the road again, hitting up another hood. Up north, down south, Midwest, it don't matter, we gon' bring it out. Scriptures keep ringing out. We gon' speak it, we gon' rap it, even sing it out. Camp shirts blinging out. We gon' shine with these laws, what you be about?
All right, shalom. Most High in Christ bless everybody. Welcome to today's class. I'm Brother Raphael. To my left,
Brother Jacob.
Today's topic is called Edomites Hate the Black Christ, Part 2. Okay, Part 2, because one thing y'all have to understand is they hate the image of the Black Christ. They hate it because it reminds them of us. Straight up, that's basically what it is, okay? They hate the Black Christ because they realize that their time is up. Okay, for their rulership, and it's basically exposing all the lies that's being told out there. But let's just start out with the book of St. John, chapter 8 and verse 32. Because you must know the truth. Okay, the truth is with something. Let me tell y'all something. It's one truth in a million lies. Okay, because understand something, brothers and sisters. The truth of the matter is that the so-called blacks and so-called Hispanics, whose fathers are Negroid and Indian descent, we are the biblical Israelites. Make no mistake about that. That's who we are. So the book of St. John, chapter 8 and verse 32, brother.
The book of John, chapter 8 and verse 32. And ye shall know the truth.
And ye shall know the truth. We shall know the truth on who we are, how we have to come back to our heritage, our true heritage of keeping the commandments and the faith of Christ. Go ahead, brother.
And the truth shall make you free.
The truth shall make you free, because understand something, make you free from what? Free from the lies. Free from the rhetoric, free from all the foolishness out there that's being pushed out here on social media, that's being pushed out here in the, that's being pushed out here to our people. Okay, so we have to protect our spirits, get into some scholarship to understand that they hate the Black Christ. So-called white man hates that. He hates the fact that there was a civilization before him. Because have him tell you, he'll say that the Greeks started civilization. He'll tell you that. But for some odd reason, our people fall for that madness without any research. But join us today, as we go through the journey of the scholarship to find out about Zeus, about all the different lies they've been told about the deities that they've been serving themselves. Okay? We're going to deal with that. Okay? But let's go ahead on.
Yeah, so we was dealing with the guy, his name's Metatron. Mm-hmm. And he was saying, he tried to prime us for his lies about Revelation 1 and 14 and 15. Mm-hmm. It's not talking about woolly hair. It's talking about white hair. And that brass burned in a furnace isn't actually brass burned in a furnace, but it's glowing in a furnace. Mm-hmm. All his lies. So what we're going to do, we're going to prove that not only do they hate the Black Christ, but they hate black deities, period, that they done took from other nationalities, other nations of people, and then they whitewashed them.
As a matter of fact, let's go to the book of Obadiah, verse 5. Since you said that, Jake. The book of Obadiah, verse 5. This is how you know who this man is. We keep telling y'all this. How you know who Esau is? You trace him by his money, his wars, and his politics. But also you can trace somebody this too. This right here is an actual prophecy on who this man really is, because this man will steal anything. Okay, he steals anything, y'all. Join us. We're gonna show y'all how he stole a lot of things. Even the deities he stole those. So the book of Obadiah, verse 5, brother.
The book of Obadiah, verse 5.
Go ahead.
If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night,
go ahead.
How art thou cut off?
Go ahead.
Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
I mean, a thief comes in, he gonna leave something. You know, he gonna leave something. You gonna see a trace. Somebody busted my house, they left something. Okay, if thieves come to thee by night, you're going to see something. But go ahead. Not this man, though. Go ahead.
Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
Right.
If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
This man will steal anything. He going to take everything. He going to take the whole vine of the grapes. He ain't going to leave a couple of grapes. He going to take everything. The same thing with deities, our nationality. He's been stealing from the beginning of time. We keep telling y'all, how do you know who this man is? He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. We keep telling y'all this. This anti-hate campaign is a truth campaign. We keep telling y'all this man was steal. We're going to show y'all how he whitewashed even the deities, the different images. Go ahead, brother.
He done took your land, your nationality,
right,
your identity, all your victuals, everything you have, and he done became you,
right,
and put you in captivity,
right,
and then teaching you how righteous he is, and you got to follow his version of the
Bible,
his
his Christianity or his Christian insanity. That's what I call it, because you're insane to believe in your oppressor's doctrine. The man, let me just say this to y'all, and I'm gonna say it again. If the man ain't gonna treat you right, he ain't gonna teach you right.
No, that's right.
We keep telling y'all that. Y'all keep on falling for the nonsense, but keep falling for it. But join us today as we, go through the scholarship. Okay, we're gonna show y'all, the history on some of this stuff. Some of y'all may already know some of this stuff. We're gonna have to refresh your memory and let you see some of the stuff, some of the new stuff that we have. And hopefully, fortunately, y'all be able to see it. And see it, because this is biblical histories.
Yeah, I gotta find this video. Oh, here it is. So we're gonna start off with what he said in the previous video. We're just gonna play a portion of that, and then we're going into Nature Knows No Color Line. All right, I'm gonna play this.
World, images of Zeus were very popular and very easily recognizable. It shouldn't surprise us, therefore, that Jesus, when represented as a ruler and a heavenly king, gains a striking resemblance with Zeus. Translate that passage from the original language word by word, and I will tell you what it actually says, and then you make your mind. It is the following way. We will start.
I'll post this, but so they got an image of Zeus, and then they have one of the images that they made of Christ, which is not Christ. It looked just like Zeus. Whitewashing. So now we're going to go into how Zeus became one of their deities. We're going to go into this history. So we read last week. Come on, computer. Okay, here we go. So we read last week, not last week, but the last class we did.
Last class, yeah.
We went to Nature Knows No Color Line. So this is where we're going. This Nature Knows No Color Line is by J.A. Rogers. It says, Negroes were first worshipped in Greece and Rome. White masses bowed down to black deities. The rites of Apollo were founded by Delphos and his Negro mother, Melanus, and the worship of black Isis and Horus was popular in Rome. So, everybody, you have what's it called? The first Madonna, which is Isis and Horus.
Horus, yeah.
I guess Horus is the baby.
Yeah.
So Isis is supposed to be the mother. So they were bowing down to this. So this ain't nothing new. These deities come from what is it? From Babylon, from ancient Babylon. You had Semiramis, Tammuz, and Nimrod. It's just this what you call the original Trinity. That same thing has been passed and passed and passed. So the Babylonians was a black nation. They're the Cushites. That passed to the Egyptians, which is another black nation. And then from them, the Greeks adopted it.
And this is why our so-called brothers who are in Egyptology always try to tell us that we plagiarized the whole Trinity doctrine, not understanding that the so-called white man did that.
Right.
We're not in Christianity. We keep telling y'all that this ain't a religion. Okay? Well, I just wanted to say that.
And the worship of Black Isis and Horus was popular in Rome. And the Roman colonies as far north as Britain, when this later evolved into the worship of the Black Madonna and Black Christ. They know, man. We're going to get into that Black Madonna and Black Christ, too, later on. But Christian whites also bowed down to them. So this is what J.A. Rogers said. I'm going to go to the next page. Man, that thing jumped way down there. You see that? I hit it one time and jumped way down there. All right, it says, Negroes, as was said, were deified in early Greece. They appear as gods in Greek mythology. The chief title of Zeus, greatest of the Greek gods, because he was supposed to be the god of gods, was Ethiops. And I'm going to show you that. That was his title. Ethiops, which means burnt face.
Yep, same thing with Ethiopia.
Yeah, Ethiops. That is black.
Right.
And from the descriptions of Ethiopians in early Greek writings, there can be no doubt of their identity with living Negroes. Xenophanes of about 550 BC spoke of their black skin and flat noses. And Herodotus, 450 BC, not only does the same, but adds that the Egyptians were like them. So it was saying that the Egyptians looked like Negroes. Again, Strabo, 1st century BC geographer, wrote of the Ethiopians' black complexion and woolly hair. Snowden says that the Greeks regarded blackness as typical of the Ethiopians' color is apparent not only from descriptions of the Ethiopian skin as the blackest in the world, but the proverbial to wash an Ethiopian white. You know what? This would be a good time to go to that video. Because the Ethiopian got black skin. They keep talking about the Ethiopian's black complexion, which the Ethiopian is what?
It means burnt face. And the Most High liking us as the Ethiopians.
Remember?
When we go to Ham.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you. Matter of fact, we just go to that.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the video. You go to Ham.
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. For some of y'all who don't know, I'm going to pull up the definition of ham. We've been through this before. We have to say it for the people who don't know and show y'all. Because, see, the scholars know this stuff, y'all. And what's really sad about it is our people don't want to pick up the, they don't want to study nothing. We just take everything word for word. What these theologians tell you, what these so-called people who don't love you tell you, every little thing under the sun, and you just listen to it. You know?
No, who on earth is whitewashing it?
Right. And why? And here's the point. Why are they doing this stuff? I mean, think about that for a second. You should ask yourself a question. What is the purpose of them doing this? Why would you do that? Why would I whitewash something I know is not white? What's my purpose behind that? It's called white supremacy. That's what's called.
Man,
Let's just call it for what it is. Okay, we're not gonna play games with this. Okay, it is white supremacy. So people may not like it, but so be it. Truth is what it is.
You want me to play the video first, or you want me?
Let me just read this first, so
Okay.
people have an understanding. Okay. Now, Ham. This is the Compact Bible Dictionary on page 213. It says Ham. Perhaps hot. Makes sense. The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. Think about that for a second. So, the Negroes will be known as us. Okay, think about that.
We're dark, just
Exactly.
like these descendants of Ham.
We're right, and we're going to show it. So it says, but the Egyptians, dark. We're going to deal with that through a video. How they lied about that. This is scholarship now. It says, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, burnt face, Libyans, and Canaanites.
It's funny. So he said in the book that the ancient historians said that they were like the Egyptians were like the Negroes. And then even the Lord said, aren't you not like the Ethiopians under me?
He says it.
So this is why every time something go down, we was running into Egypt into Africa among other dark nations that look like us.
Just like Christ, and because the angel of the Lord told Joseph in a dream to take Mary and Christ and take them to Egypt. Why? They had to have been dark, because he said, you are like the Ethiopians to me. That's what the Lord says. We didn't say that. The scriptures say that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the problem with our people. Instead of y'all looking at the scholarship for yourselves, we just go along with the flow. What you looking for?
Joseph.
Oh, Joseph.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna play the video now. And so, all these dark nations are named, and we look like these people. So we're gonna play this video. See who's doing the whitewashing.
There's something.
Of Egypt, son of the Pharaoh's sister, beloved of the Nile god, commander of the southern The blessings of the god Amun-Ra be upon you, great prince. He has brought down the pride of Ethiopia. He has set his
Old windbag.
He has raised Egypt to its
I agree with it.
May your name be exalted on earth, O conqueror, even as the sun is exalted in the heavens.
Welcome to my sister's son. We have heard how you took Ibis from the Nile to destroy the venomous serpents used against you when you laid siege to the city of Saba.
May my arms stay strong in your service, great city.
Who is this fair young god come into the house of Pharaoh?
No need to tell you how I share her joy at your return.
No need, my brother. Great one, I bring you Ethiopia.
Command them to kneel before Pharaoh.
Command what you have conquered, my brother. I bring the Ethiopian king and his sister in friendship, as an ally to guard our southern gates.
My son has dealt wisely with you, Ethiopia. Welcome as a friend.
Great king, I will ask but one favor of your friendship. This green stone from our mountains, that I may give it to your prince of Egypt. for he is kind as well as wise.
Now, you see this? So that movie was made in 1956?
1956, yeah. Charlton Heston, they had him play Moses, okay? As you can see, he's an Edomite. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they made that in Egypt. Yeah, I think they made that movie. They made that in Egypt because I think they're actually in those halls. So they got people from over there playing the part of Ethiopians or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But they got the so-called white man over there portraying himself to be Egyptian.
When the script, we just showed y'all that they supposed to be cousins. Because they come from Ham. So how the white man all of a sudden become the Egyptian? Does that make sense to y'all? I mean, think about that for a second. He's whitewashing even them.
The same way he became the Christians.
Right.
And he became the Jews.
Exactly.
The same way.
Exactly. So the same thing what he just did was he's just showing y'all what he's doing. Who else is doing this, brothers and sisters? Who doing this? Because remember what he just did, he just showed it, and even in the movie, he got the Ethiopians right.
Right.
He got them right. But he didn't get the Egyptians right because he had Pharaoh, him playing Pharaoh. I'm like, wait a minute. How you gonna play Pharaoh when they don't even look right in that Egyptian garb?
Nope. They don't.
They don't even look right. I'm just keeping it real. They don't even look right. I mean, it's like I've been looking at them like, how the hell? What?
Their bodies are different.
Right.
Even when you see Edomites with women with dresses on, it's something weird about it. It just don't seem right. I don't know what it is. All right, but I want to go to Genesis 42. So we're going to go to Joseph, the account of Joseph and his brothers, because Joseph was second in command in Egypt.
So you can start at verse 6.
Yep. The book of Genesis chapter 42 and verse 6. And Joseph was the governor over the land. And he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth.
Now, why would they? Now, if he was supposed to be a so-called white man, why would the brethren mistake him as an Egyptian? At this particular time, Egypt was what it is. It was dark-skinned people here at this time. Okay, so that's what you have to understand. Joseph had to have been a dark-skinned man to do what? To pass off as an Egyptian in the ancient times.
Just like that so-called scholar said, that the Negroes and the Egyptians look alike.
Right, go ahead.
Verse 7. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him.
They knew not him because once again, like I just said, brothers and sisters, he passed himself off as an Egyptian, an ancient Egyptian. And the reason why I'm saying the ancient Egyptian, because the Egyptians over there today, those are Ottoman Turks.
Yep.
Those aren't real Egyptians. Okay, they just occupy the land calling themselves Egyptians. Okay, the true Egyptians we just showed y'all in the Zondervan Bible, it just in Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, it just showed y'all that these people are dark-skinned people. They've always been dark-skinned people. Northeast Africa. Keep that in mind. Okay.
All right. So now, bear with me, this computer. Me trying to get this. Okay, here we go. Oh, so now we're going to, this is, I'm going to have to post this. I went on the internet and found this. So the sources that J.A. Rogers used, I found two of them. One of them is, I got it highlighted in blue. And this is talking about, this is a dictionary that he referred to. And it has the definition, Aethiops, the glowing or the black. a surname of Zeus, under which he was worshipped in the island of Chios. And definition number 2, a son of Hephaestus, from whom Ethiopia. So this Zeus was surnamed Aethiops. So he was called Zeus Aethiops, meaning Zeus the Black. Oh my goodness. So just like he said, this is true. When you go into these ancient sources, you see that the original Zeus was black. Their deities were black. Now I'm going to his second source, which is, what's the guy's name? I got it enlarged. I can't just click on it. There we go.
You know, the thing about it, y'all, you know what's crazy? Because what is the agenda behind all this? I mean, to whitewash different things, to do, I mean, and the question is going to always remain, who is doing this? I mean, why? I mean, why would you, I'm going to use an example. And I had a guy with this one time. It was a simple question. I asked him a question. I said, look, because, you know, we were talking about Christ, right? Mm-hmm. About the depiction of Christ. So, and why it matters. Because people would tell you, especially our people, would ignorantly tell you, doesn't matter what Christ looked like, right? So I hit him with simplicity. I said, what color is your mother? Mother black. Mother black. I said, okay. Your mother black. I said, now what if I took a picture of a white woman and put the picture up and say, this is your mother? I said, how would you feel about that? You probably want to fight me. You probably, you know how brothers are about their mothers, right? You know, I mean, you know, hey man, you saying that's my mother? That's my point. My point is that's not your mother. Your mother is who she is. Same thing with Christ. Christ would be a so-called black man if he lived today and was walking the streets. But because the so-called white man has done everything, even the deities, he's basically taken on the nature of those deities and he's flipped them and whitewashed them.
It show you whenever he's in power, that's what he do.
Exactly.
Exactly what he do. Because you don't hear about it. There's no whitewashing before then. Before Greece, you don't
Yeah.
Because like they're not very inventive at all. Like they have taken other people's gods and then added to them. Matter of fact, we're gonna read that.
We just read about it in Obadiah.
Yep.
This man was still. This man was still. I'm telling y'all, this man was still. And once again, it ain't hate. It's just not a hate campaign. It's a truth campaign. If you don't believe us, do your research.
Right, so we're going back to Herodotus. That's his name. That's the name of their scholars. They put all their trust in their scholars, boy, I tell you.
Yeah, but we can't put no trust in ours, huh?
Right.
Ain't that something?
So this is Herodotus, book 2, chapter 41 and 42. Says, all that have among them a temple of Zeus of Thebes, that's in Africa.
Thebes, yeah.
Or are of the Theban province, sacrifice goats but will not touch sheep. For no gods are worshipped in common by the whole of Egypt, save only Isis and Osiris, that's the Madonna, whom they say to be Dionysus. These are worshipped by all alike. Those who have a temple of Mendes or are of the Mendesian province sacrifice sheep but will not touch goats. Let me jump down. Says Heracles, they say, would by all means look upon Zeus, and Zeus would not be seen by him. At last, being earnestly entreated by Heracles, Zeus contrived a device whereby he showed himself displaying the head and wearing the fleece of a ram, which he flayed and beheaded. It is from this that the Egyptians' images of Zeus have a ram's head. I'm going to post that. We got a book right here called The Image of the Black in Western Art. We have this picture. And in this, the Egyptians are imitated by the Ammonians, who are colonists from Egypt and Ethiopia and speak a language compounded of the tongues of both countries. It was from this, I think, that the Ammonians get their name too. For Ammon is the Egyptian name for Zeus. So Amun-Ra is Zeus, an Egyptian god who was originally a Babylonian god. It's just passed on from one people to another.
So you see why we call this place spiritually Egypt and spiritually Babylon? Because they not only take on this man's customs, they also take... See, listen to the thing, y'all. Esau doesn't have nothing of his own. He steals everything. We just proved it in Obadiah. Okay? We just proved it. This man steals anything. So let's look at the Egyptians. They steal the Egyptian customs because of idol worship. That's why America is called spiritually Egypt and spiritually Sodom. And you got to look at, let's take it for what it is. Babylon. We call this Babylon the Great because it's a place of great confusion. Even Nimrod, the Tower of Babel. Babel means what? Confusion. So the same thing. So this man takes bits and pieces from everybody and calls it his own. We're just showing y'all this stuff, y'all. This isn't something that's new. He's always been doing this his whole existence. Okay?
All right, so same book, Herodotus, book number 2, in chapter 54 and 55. I'm just going to read the important stuff. So it says, the priests of Zeus. So this is how it got into Greece. Keep in mind, Greece is just on the other side of the water of Egypt.
Right.
So it says, the priest of Zeus, of Thebes, told me that 2 priestesses had been carried away from Thebes by Phoenicians.
Sounds familiar. The Phoenicians.
Right, so the Phoenicians, that's Hannibal's people. Which the Phoenicians went into the Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain. That's how our people got there. And they all the way up through Britain. We'll do that another time. But so they got carried away by the Phoenicians. One of them, so they said, they had learnt, was taken away and sold in Libya, and the other in Hellas. When you look up Hellas, it's Greece.
That's what they call the Hellenists.
Yep. Since these women, they said, were the first founders of places of divination in the countries aforesaid. When I asked them how it was that they could speak with so certain knowledge, they said in reply that their people had sought diligently for these women and had never been able to find them, but had learnt later the tale which was now told to me. That then I heard from Theban priests, and what follows is told by the prophetess of Dodona, to wit, that 2 black doves had come flying from Thebes in Egypt. Those black doves mean those are black women. That's what that means. I looked that up too. So, had come flying from Thebes in Egypt, one to Libya and one to Dodona. This last settled on an oak tree and uttered their human speech, declaring that there must be a place of divination from Zeus. So she's supposed to be declaring the words of Zeus. So this is how Zeus gets into Greece, them worshiping him as a deity. Says the people of Dodona understood that the message was divine, and therefore they established the oracular shrine. The dove which came to Libya bade the Libyans, so they say, to make an oracle of Ammon. This also is sacred to Zeus. Such was the tale by the Doderian priestesses, of whom the eldest was Pramania, and the next in age Tamarit, and the youngest Nicandra, and the rest of the servants of the temple at Dodona likewise beheld true. So this is the story of how this came to be, how the story of Zeus, which is Amun-Ra, came to Egypt. Mm-hmm. So I looked up Dodona on Wikipedia and went to early history, which is about, they got this right, because this is the time of, what's his name? Herodotus. This is the time period he lived. Yeah. Although the earliest inscriptions at the site date to 550 to 500 BCE, archaeological excavations conducted more than a century have recovered artifacts as early as the Mycenian era. Many now at the National Archaeological Museum of Athens and some in Archaeological Museum at nearby Ioannina. There was an ancient tradition that Dodona was founded by a colony from the city also named Dodona in Thessaly. I'm just going to skip down to the bottom where I got it highlighted. It says Zeus was worshipped at Dodona as Zeus Nios, or Nails, god of the spring, below the oak in the Temenus, or sanctuary. So just like the story that he's given is the story that they go by. So this is how Zeus, who was an original black deity, was worshipped in Greece. So, because when I went to look this stuff up, man, somebody had made a story and had put it on the internet. And all these Edomites was in the comment section just going ham. No, Zeus is white. Y'all need to stop trying to blackwash stuff. And I was like, yo,
Excuse me?
Yeah, this is funny. They're like, you need to do things historically the way it's supposed to be. And so the dude who made the post, he had 15 scholars was saying that no, Zeus originally was black. Boy, they was hating it in the comment section.
But you know what? But you know what though? It falls right in line with what we're showing tonight.
Yep.
Today, we're showing that Esau hates black. Let me tell y'all something. Theoretically, he hates black folks. I'm just gonna keep it real. Whether it's deities, whether it's being the Israelites, he hates it because deep down inside he does. He may come off like he don't.
Right.
He may come off like, oh, you know, I love everybody. Yeah, okay. Well, I tell you one doggone thing. Stop painting some of his image. Matter of fact, I tell you what you do. Make a black Superman. I ain't seen a black Superman yet.
Put a black person on a dollar bill.
And a dough. Oh, yeah, they tried it already with Harriet Tubman, didn't they? They tried to do one with Harriet Tubman. They had a fit.
Remember a few years back they had a fit. I remember when we first started going out to movies and the preview came out. I forget what movie we was at, but the preview came out for Star Wars. And they had that Jake dude in it.
Yeah.
Man, Esau went ham.
Yeah, he was like one of the best Jedis.
Oh my goodness.
They had a fit, but see, I'm showing y'all something, y'all. When it's a position of power,
mm-hmm.
and historically it's white, and let us blackwash it. They have a fit.
Yes, they will.
They will have a fit. They will protest. No, this is not right. They'll do everything under the sun. When it come to us, nigga, you better accept it, because that's exactly what we say. Okay?
But then they'll tell you that they not racist.
Right. I'm not racist, buddy. But do not make them black. You racist. This is called what it is.
You can't get around it, man, because they will not, just like with the image of Christ, they will not tell the truth under no circumstance.
Remember I asked the Edomite.
Right.
I asked him.
I wish we had footage.
I asked him a simple question. I said, "Sir, let's be respectful now. You and I both know if you got robbed and all you saw was this man's feet, and you gave a description to the police officers, he had feet like brass as if been burned in front, and he had white woolly hair. You know daggone well you say it was a black man that robbed you."
Yeah, because police, he gonna go around and look at everybody's feet.
Right. Oh yeah, them black feet right there. And he got white woolly hair too? Yeah, we locking you up. He would not say it though.
No.
It shows y'all.
Matter of fact, 'cause when you asked him that, he said, I'm listening.
Yep.
Will not answer. They can't tell the truth, man. They hate the truth, bro.
Can't tell the truth to save your doggone life. And I was very respectful. I didn't disrespect the man. I asked him a simple question. I said, sir, what does the Bible depict Christ as? As simple as that. Don't give me a diplomatic answer. Don't give me nothing simple. Let's just keep it simple. Straight. Let's just give me straight up. Is what it is. He could not. It hurt him to even say that the Messiah, the Christ, the King of Kings, was what we would know today as a so-called black man.
I'm listening. I hear you.
He won't listen. Because in his mind, he still had white man Jesus in his mind. He didn't want to accept the fact of who Christ is. And that's how come we can say the Edomites hate the black Christ and the black deities.
Yeah, they hate the truth, period.
They hate the truth, period. And we challenge anybody. You think we're joking? We'll challenge anybody on this. Okay, because we're not just talking. We're not, and it's not with pride either. We're just saying we can prove without a shadow of a doubt this man hates it. He hates the truth.
So we have the picture here out of the image of the black and Western art.
Okay.
Which had plenty of pictures of ancient Egyptians.
I got something even better for you, though, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a book with black cowboys. I used to have a book.
Oh, yeah.
I used to have a book. I wish I still. My dad gave it to me a long time ago, but it showed y'all even doing the black westerns. Black cowboys is all over the West.
Some of them, like famous ones,
like Pickett, like Mr. Pickett. He was the one that was doing the He was, I forgot what he was doing. What you call it? He would do horse. I forgot what
like
it was called.
shows.
Yeah, he was doing it. His name was Pickett. But here's where I'm going with this, y'all. A lot of hidden history. They would not show our people to show our people on a higher level, because they know once we see ourselves on a higher level, it's gonna stop us from doing destructive things to our nation. Because I'm gonna just say this, y'all.
Yeah.
If I see myself on a higher level, and I'm lined up with Christ, and Christ looks like me, I won't want to kill my brother because he looks like me, because that's a representation. But if I keep thinking of myself as a nigga all the time, and all I see is kill a nigga all day, that's all I see. That's what's being portrayed.
That's what you're saying. Exactly is what's happening, because if you set your aspirations to be like Christ, then you're going to constantly elevate yourself, you and your people. But if what you see is just niggas down at the bottom, then how are you going to get yourself up out of that?
And you fall in love with that struggle.
Mm-hmm.
You depict that. That's your culture. I love being on the bottom. I love doing this. You see how backwards that is, brothers and sisters?
And then if you don't like that, if you're against that, then you're looking at the white man and you won't be like him.
Exactly.
So it's a lose-lose situation.
Because you won't look like your oppressor with the blonde hair. I said it, the blonde hair, the blue contacts. We're the only people on the earth that want to look like our oppressor. How about that? Does that make sense to you? You want to look like somebody that hates you. That's some Stockholm syndrome for your behind. Sad.
I tell you.
Sad, y'all. We have to wake up, come up out of deep sleep. Because unfortunately, that's where we at. You got it?
Right, so out of the image of the Black and Western Art, Volume 1, I'm going to post this picture of what they were talking about, the ram's head that Zeus put on his head. And, then I got this, which it says, triad with the ram of Amun, flanked by Spomaker and Arsenippus. These weird names. Right. But yeah, this is him. Now, for some fun, here are some ancient artifacts. This is artwork. That is Zeus He's black.
He's dark, yes.
The person behind him is black.
He's dark.
And then the servant is an Edomite.
Sounds. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sound like it's in order.
They won't like that.
No.
The servant is an Edomite? Oh my God. They have a fit.
Then here's another one, looks like a deer or something. And there's Zeus standing behind it. Oh, I see. He's breaking off the horns. See, there's a horn there, and there's another horn there. I guess he's going to make him some trumpets, some shofars or something. And then you see 2 Edomites by him.
Yep.
Man, I hate to be an Edomite, man. Their world is coming crashing down. Everything they think is great, man. Oh, my goodness. Here's another one. There's an Edomite in the middle. Zeus is sitting down on his throne. And then I don't know who that is. It's got to be another god. But it's the same way. Black, got a beard. And the Edomite, got no beard. Man, I tell you.
Ain't that something?
Now, we're going to the ecclesiastical history. Because this stuff is not just written in one book. We got a lot of stuff that say the same thing over and over and over.
So you can't refute it because it says the same thing. It's great. It's amazing, isn't it?
Right. So in the ecclesiastical history, it says, I got to highlight it and I'm going to post it. It says, at the time of Christ's appearance upon earth, the religion of the Romans, as well as their arms, that would be their extensions of their government, different places,
Right.
had extended itself over a great part of the world. This religion must be known to those who are acquainted with the Grecian superstitions. So it's just all they did. The Romans took the Greek gods, added their little twist to it, and it's the same thing.
Since you said that, Jake, hold on to that. Let's go to the Second Maccabees, chapter 6. Since you said that, you said something about their gods.
Yep.
In the Greeks. Let's find out what they were doing on our temple with their gods. How they did with our temple. Okay. Second Maccabees chapter 6. Matter of fact, we started at verse 1.
All right, the Second Maccabees chapter 6 and verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers.
That's exactly what they're trying to do even today. They trying to make us depart from the laws of our fathers. They've been doing that even since this time when the so-called white man came into power. Okay, go ahead, brother.
None of the other captives did that.
Right. That's why we keep trying to tell y'all, what makes this captivity so devastating, we don't know who we are. Soon the white man took power, he took our identity. Nobody else did that but him. Think about that for a second. Go ahead.
And not to live after the laws of God. And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem.
And call it what?
And to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympus.
Go ahead.
And that in garrison of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did, despite that dwelt in the place.
So for some of y'all don't know, these are different gods. You know, these are different gods that they had even during the time of the Greeks. So you have the Greek mythology, you have all those things going on during that time. So all this did was segue into the Romans. Because when you go to the book of Acts, when Paul was being called, remember they were trying to call Paul and
Yep.
they were trying to call. They were
14.
Yeah, they were trying to call. They were trying to do sacrifice, trying to call them Greek, trying to call them gods, and that's why Paul was like, "No, don't do that."
Right.
Paul said, "No, don't do that, man. That's not what I want you. Don't do that."
Yeah, they send the gods and come down to earth.
Yeah, so that was in the time of Rome. You know what I'm saying?
This is the Greeks.
Right. I'm just trying to show y'all.
Same thing, same gods.
Yeah, it just fused in. That's all they did was fuse in with the Romans.
Verse 3. The coming of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful.
So they were having all kinds of orgies, all kinds of lewd stuff that was going on, which always takes place when Esau takes over a land. He always brings his democracy, even back then, because during that time, what they were doing, they want all the people to follow after the ways of the Greeks. All of them should become one people.
Verse 5. The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. So when you go to First Maccabees, it shows you that they set altars on top of our altars and was telling people they had to come out there and sacrifice. Judas was like, "Oh hell no!"
Exactly.
We're gonna serve the Lord.
But we're gonna come back to the Maccabees.
Yeah, we're gonna come right back to the same chapter. But I'm gonna finish this first. It says,
go ahead.
Okay, this religion must be known to those who are acquainted with the Grecian superstitions. In some things, indeed, it differs from them, see, slightly. For the Romans, besides the institutions which Numa and others had invented with political views, added several Italian fictions to the Grecian tables. So see that it started with, it came from Egypt, but they add their own fables to it. Then the Romans add their own even more fables to it. And gave also to the Egyptian deities a place among their own. So you can go to multiple sources and see these people, they took the gods of other people and then they whitewashed them to fit themselves. Same old thing. Now, oh my goodness. So to finish this up, I'm going to show y'all a picture of Zeus. Well, it's supposed to be Christ. But I swear, that's Zeus right there. That ain't Christ. That's Zeus. And then here's
that's why you hear brothers that's into the name. They always try to accuse us as worshiping Zeus, and we don't worship Zeus because they try to say Jesus is Zeus because of what the white man has done. So what happens? We always get caught up in a debate with brothers that's pushing the whole Egyptology thing, and also with brothers that's into the name.
Right.
So they get caught, like, you don't call him Jesus because that means Zeus. No, it's just a translation. Okay? So don't get it twisted. We're not worshiping Zeus. That's something that the so-called white man put out there for Zeus. We didn't put that out there. Right. I have to say that.
So now we're going into, so they whitewashed black deities that came from dark-skinned nations, made them white. Now we're going into them when they started whitewashing things pertaining to us. So I'm still in 2 Maccabees 6, so I want to read. Let me see if I saw it. Here you go, 18.
Eleazar?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to, we're still in 2 Maccabees 6. I'm going to jump to verse 18. So Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man and of well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh.
Because what they were doing, they were trying to make him eat swine's flesh, try to compel the other brothers and sisters to do it. It's the same way they do to our people today with the vaccine.
Exactly.
Same mentality. They want to use someone who's well respected in our community, use them as a bait to get us to follow their ungodly customs. So the same way they were doing with Eleazar back then, Eleazar was very respected as a man of God. So what they wanted him to do was they wanted him to eat pork to try to compel our brothers and sisters to follow that because they know he was well respected.
Yep.
So it's the same way today. They use our men today or our women today are well respected in the community to push their agenda. It's the same way with the vaccine today. They're using the basketball players, the football players. They're using the politicians. They're using our people to try to push their agenda.
Yeah, to get our people to accept it because they know we skeptical. We don't want to deal with things that, their medicine.
Right.
We tired of being guinea pigs.
Right.
So this brother was 410. He was 90 years old, and he was like, "The hell with y'all.
Right.
I'm not going to do that and leave a bad example for my people." So now, I just wanted to bring out Eleazar because we're going into some scholarship dealing with Eleazar and these devils. So the next book will be The Jews Among the Greeks and Romans. Oh my goodness, you just cannot make this stuff up, man. These people, a leopard don't change his spots. All right, as usual, I'm going to post what I'm reading. And this is how it says the validation legend of the translation of the Septuagint. So this is how the Septuagint, which is the Bible in Greek, came to be. So it says King Ptolemy. There were several King Ptolemies. That was like, I don't know why that is. I don't know what the story is behind it. But King Ptolemy, I guess it says to Philadelphus. I guess that's which one he was. He wrote a letter to Eleazar, the high priest, greetings and good health. Since it has come about that many Jews have settled in our country. We had established communities everywhere. Just stuff like this just crushes the lies about the Great Commission of us having to go into all nations because our people are everywhere. But anyway, so since it has come about that many Jews have settled in our country, some dragged away from Jerusalem by the Persians during the time when they were in power, and others coming into Egypt with our father Ptolemy as prisoners of war. Now, since we wish to favor both these and all the Jews in the inhabited world and those yet to be born, we have decided that your law is to be translated into Greek from the so-called Hebraic characters in use among you. See, they say so-called? So that we may have it in our library along with other royal books. So they wanted it in their library. You already had it there.
You know where I'm going. You know where I'm going.
You will be acting nobly and worthily of our seal if you select elderly men of good character who are skilled in the law and able to translate. There are to be 6 from each tribe, so that from many contributions agreement may be reached, for it is an investigation into weighty matters, and we are of the opinion that when it has been completed, we shall win great renown. To this letter, Eleazar replied to the best of his ability as follows. Eleazar, the high priest, to King Ptolemy, his true friend. Greetings. Good health to you, yourself, your sister, Queen Arsinoe, and your children. We too are in good health. When we received your letter, we were overjoyed on account of your decision and fine plan. We assembled the whole people and read it out to them so that they might know of your piety towards our God.
Made it very clear. It ain't your God, it's our God.
And the whole people prayed that everything might turn out for you as you wish, and that God, who is Lord of all, might preserve your kingdom in peace with honor, and that the transcription of the holy law might be to your advantage and security. Boy, he had no idea what these devils were up to. Mm-hmm. Then, in the presence of all, we selected elderly men of noble character, 6 of each tribe, and sent them off bearing the books of the law. We beseech you, O righteous king, when the transcription of the books has taken place, to give orders that men may be returned safely to us. So they yielded, and they sent them. He sent them those scribes to translate our scriptures into Greek. So
First Maccabees 3 and 48.
yep, that's what these devils did.
Showing y'all, and this is funny because the Bible is basically telling on this man.
That's why I be saying, man, you got people that doubt the scriptures. It's once you start learning all this history, you be like, man, just go on somewhere with that. You have no idea what you're talking about.
It goes hand in hand.
Yup.
It definitely does. So first Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law.
It just showed you with Eleazar, our holy law, and laid open the book of the law. Go ahead.
Wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So that's basically what they're still doing. They whitewashed all the deities, and then they turn around and whitewash all of our images.
History just keeps repeating itself, and it's the same people doing the same thing. Remember we did the class, The Spirit of Satan?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same. They got the same spirit back then in the Middle Ages, and then now. I want to hit one scripture. So just to help prove a point. So the Bible was translated into Greek. So I want y'all to understand this. I'm going to Acts chapter 6. You get in the New Testament, and people be going, see, there's neither Jew nor Greek. Come on, man. So, so this is Acts chapter 6 and verse 1. And in those days, when the number of the disciples was multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews.
Languages.
Exactly.
Languages.
That's the point.
It's languages. That's what they have to understand. It's languages. I know what you. Yeah.
Right. So you have the Septuagint, and then you got the scriptures in Hebrew. Now watch what happens. Because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. So when they're teaching at the temple or the synagogue every day, they were saying that they didn't have anybody to teach them in Greek, is what they're saying.
To interpret, because you have to have an interpreter.
Yep.
We always tell you, 1 Corinthians 14, you have to have an interpreter to edify the church. So all this speaking in tongues nonsense, it ain't going to work if you don't have an interpreter. So you have to have an interpreter, okay, for these people who don't understand. The Hellenists, the Grecians, that's who it's talking about. Not actual Greeks.
Right, let me keep going. Then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them and said, it is not reason that we should leave the word of God and serve tables. So they got works to do. They don't have time to go, to do this. So verse 3, wherefore, brethren, look ye out among ye 7 men of honest report, full of the Holy Ghost and wisdom, whom we may appoint over this business.
Then Eleazar, that's what he was doing when he was talking about doing the translation. Same thing.
Yep.
A good report.
So this is all this is. But that could, man, in Christianity, your enemy he's confused you. He's completely confounded you.
That's his job.
Yep.
To confuse you. That's his job.
So now we're going to everything moving along fine too. Mm-hmm. Nice pace. Now we're going to the itinerary of Benjamin of Tudela. Just a little side note, and we're going to prove that the Greeks and the Romans come from Esau. They're Esau. They're Edom. I'm gonna get this jank loaded. 1 Kings 11.
Yeah, because we get sick and tired of people trying to say that Esau is the Arabs. Get sick and tired of hearing that nonsense, especially among our people. They don't want the white man to get condemned at all. So they want to just pass him off as an Arab. But we're going to prove that he is who he is.
That's funny. So they saying that the Edomite is the Arab man, and then the white man is saying that Jesus is the Arab man. Which is it?
Which is it, right?
Confusion, man. Confusion. All right, so the itinerary of Benjamin of Tudela. So before I read what this Spanish Jew wrote, which the Spanish Jews is black, I'm going to go to 1 Kings so y'all know what we talking about. This is 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 14. It says, "And the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite.
Yep.
He was of the king's seed in Edom. For it came to pass when David," keep this in mind, when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was gone up to bury the slain after he had smitten every male in Edom. For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel until he had cut off every male in Edom. So they killing Edomites. Any Edomite that could was fleeing. Verse 17, that Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him,
And went into Egypt.
to go into Egypt. Hadad being yet a little child. Verse 23. Yeah. Verse 23. And God stirred him up another adversary, Rezin, the son of Elida, which fled from his lord Hadadezer, king of Zobah. So Hadadezer is Hadad's grandson. Yeah, I think it's his grandson. So now, Benjamin of Tudela. And this is page 28. And what Benjamin was doing, he was traveling from Spain. He went to like southern France, Germany, and made his way to Jerusalem. He went into Africa. He went down to land of Elam. He even went into parts of China, searching for Israelites and Jews, northern and southern kingdom. So he's writing down everything that he saw, especially where he saw our people. But watch what he documented. He said, from there, one goes to Pozuli, which is called Sorrento the Great, built by Zer, son of Hadadezer, who, when he fled in fear of David the king. So that's what we just read. Edomites. So Edomites founded Sorrento. That's Greece. So they come from that stock. Now, I'm going to go to the other page. And the myth of King Romulus and Remus. Matter of fact, before I read this, I might as well play the story. So I saw this show on it was Amazon Prime. There's this Edomite woman. They love that Roman history, man. They love their history. So she did. Where is it? Here it is. So I was watching her, and she brought this up. I was like, oh my goodness. All right, so here it goes. I'm going to post this. All right. Because this story, like, you can go on Google and you look it up, and they try to say it's a myth. Nah, I'm going to tell you something. So the word, whatever this word is that they use, because they say that these two young men were raised by a she-wolf. Well, when you think about that, you're like, what, a she-wolf? But in that language, it means prostitute. So they were raised by a prostitute. You gotta like do a lot of research dealing with these people because they hate bringing out the truth, man. All right, so I'm gonna play this. Check this out, y'all.
One person who's not on the list is Romulus's twin brother Remus, because it said they had a massive row over where exactly to establish the new town. It ended up with Romulus murdering his twin, an act which reflected the bloody civil wars that would later blight the politics of Rome.
So, she's talking about the story of Romulus and Remus, who are descendants of Esau. This story is in Benjamin of Tudela, that they're the founders of Rome. So she's like giving a backstory as to why you only hear of Romulus, who is the founder of Rome. He murdered his twin brother. That's so typical of Esau. Just wanted y'all to hear that. Shalom. Right. So now, the story is true, and he murdered his brother. Just when you research Rome, you look at their Caesars. Man, they were killing each other. If you came in power and you became the Caesar, the person you had to look out for the most was like your guards, your personal guards. Somebody will get in their ear and they'll kill you, and then they take over.
Has anything changed?
No.
He assassinates presidents.
Yep.
They form coups. What just happened on January 6th of this year? They were trying their best to try to seize power. So this man does the same thing. It just shows you time and time again. He gonna constantly keep showing you who he is in the scriptures, y'all.
People think that they can change somebody.
You can't.
No.
This man is created to do what he's doing.
Right.
You can't change. The Lord already told. Listen, the Lord created this man. Y'all keep thinking y'all know more than God. God said this man is who he is. So accept it.
Now look at this, Ralph.
Okay.
All right, here's what Benjamin said. It says, from this place, a man can travel 15 miles along a road under the mountains, a work executed by King Romulus, who built the city of Rome. He was prompted to this by fear of King David and Joab, his general. So who was King David and Joab killing? Edomites.
It's showing you right in the scriptures right here.
Same people. The founders of the Greeks and the founders of Rome, those that escaped from King David and Joab. Remember, they went into Egypt until, well, we didn't read that part, but they went into Egypt until David and Joab was dead. And when they was dead, they left, told the Pharaoh they was going to go back home. Nah, they went to Syria. And took over in Syria and worked their way up into that area and started taking them over, man. It's a trail of destruction. They Edomites.
This man is the border of wickedness.
No, that's right.
I'm telling y'all that y'all think we crazy. But the Bible is what it is. And the history is basically telling you everything you need to know.
And I pulled up Romulus on Wikipedia. Romulus was the legendary founder and first king of Rome. Can't make it up, man. Mm-hmm. Some stuff, like, I used to be able to, years ago when I first read this in Benjamin of Tudela, I went on Wiki and they even had Zer on there. Mm-hmm. That he was the grandson, just like Benjamin said. They took that down. Just like they took down that, remember y'all did that class and there was a picture of an Edomite. He was supposed to be Jewish. It was a picture of an Edomite. But when you read it, it gave you the description of a black man. Mm-hmm. They took that down too, man. Yo, they trying to tie up their loose ends, bro. Too late.
But the question is, why would you do that? If you're supposed to be for truth and justice for all, why are they lying? Why are you whitewashing stuff? Why would you do that? You try and change the course of history. And it ain't going to work because the earth.
Hand me that book.
Which one?
Now we're going to do this one. Now we're going to switch gears. Now we're going into, oh my goodness. This, the image of the black in Western art. So not only does it have like awesome pictures, artifacts, it also has stories that line up with the other scholarship that we have. Now, so the image of the black in Western art, now we're going to deal with them. So we saw them whitewash the deity Zeus and others. Now we're going into the Madonna. And this is going to be fun. Because these people, under no circumstance will they tell the truth, man. So here we have this picture. This is a picture of Black Mary and Black Christ. So what they did was, when we're going to read it, they tried to make excuses as to why Mary was black.
Typical.
So it says, in the late Middle Ages, black gained more positive overtones through figures like black magus and black saints. But we proved that wrong because in the catacombs, black images.
Yep.
You got Russian icons, black images.
Yep. They
They whitewashed a lot of stuff. They whitewashed a whole lot, but they didn't get everything. Says, but also through the popularity of black virgins and iconography without an obvious source. Born in Palestine more than 2,000 years ago, the Virgin Mary may have looked Mediterranean. They make me sick, man. May have looked Mediterranean. Mediterranean is not an ethnic group.
It is a location. Once again, Mediterranean. You got the Mediterranean Sea, which you look like a. I mean, this is what we trying to tell y'all is nothing but lies.
Yep.
Sad.
Yeah, so it says the Virgin Mary may have looked Mediterranean and tanned, but she was certainly not black.
Why would you say that?
See, this is why in last class, the one before this, I made it a point to say, talk about Canaan. Canaan is one of the dark nations. That land of Canaan was given to Israel.
Yep.
With other black people. Everybody around there was black, man. Esau is the only people that was not black.
So why would they say that? Is an agenda behind it?
Right.
That's all I'm gonna tell y'all. Is an agenda certainly not black? Why would you say that when we can show images that show that she was black? Mediterranean, like we said before, you'd rather him be anything but a Negro.
So, however, by the late Middle Ages, a number of Byzantine icons showed the Virgin and Child as having dusky complexions. Best known in Western Europe is the famous painting from Santa Maria Maggiore in Rome. And in Eastern Europe, the Virgins of Kazan, Kestokawa. Their compositions go back to the Virgin of Blackerness in Constantinople and are sometimes attributed to Saint Luke. As an early, though still obscure, Christian tradition, going back to the 6th century, links a number of icons to the evangelists. Because of their revered origin, such works were hardly touched or cleaned. There we go, cleaned. And the Virgin's complexion may have been due to the darkening of the original paint and centuries of layers of dust and candle smoke. See that? But then these images, just like a lot of images we show, there'll be white people standing next to him, or there'll be some white in the background or whatever. Ain't no excuse. There ain't no excuse. We're not stupid. More problematic are the hundreds of black Madonnas found all over Europe. See, they didn't get to all of them. They're making excuses, but it ain't none.
You know something? Let's go to the scriptures on this, Jake. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians. Because you know what's really sad about this? The Bible speaks about this, y'all. We're not just making this stuff up. We're showing y'all what this man does. Start at chapter 2, verse 3.
All right, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
The Bible says, let no man deceive you by any means, by all these different lies, rhetoric, and so forth. Go ahead, bro.
For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first.
It must be a great, we must go through a great tribulation as a nation. You know, going to captivity. That's the falling away. Okay, go ahead.
That man of sin be revealed.
We seeing him right now. The man of sin is being revealed. Because who else is doing this? Okay? Who else is doing this?
Same people all throughout time.
Right, go ahead.
The son of perdition.
The son of hell. The son of perdition. This man is, wherever this man goes, you best believe wickedness is going to follow. You better believe that. Go ahead.
When you said that, I thought about the Taliban riding on the bumper cars. When Esau gone, they won't have them some fun.
Right, exactly. Exactly. They just going to chill now since he's gone.
Right. Verse 4.
Right.
Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God.
Because that's what he does. He opposeth the commandments, and he exalted himself above all by calling himself God. He exalted himself above all that is called God. Go ahead.
Or that is worship.
That is worship.
So that he, as God,
go ahead,
sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
Who is doing that, brothers and sisters? Who is doing that?
He done made himself the gods of the other nations.
Right, right, right.
Man, I tell you. All right. Back to the image of the black. Okay, more problematic are the hundreds of black Madonnas found all over Europe and later in Asia and the Americas, including the Virgin of Guadalupe in Mexico and Nossa Senhora Aparecida in Brazil. In France and Spain, they are often found in regional clusters. In Auvergne, Burgundy, and Catalonia, and linked to Romanesque and post-Romanesque prototypes. A number of these versions have dark faces, but all the historical and technical evidence available today suggests that these are caused by darkening of the sculptures. There is no evidence of black virgins before the 16th century. You's a damn lie. So there's no evidence of black virgins before the 1500s. But you got the Russian icons.
Let me ask you a question. If that's the case, then who's darker than the men? They just go to show y'all once again, we didn't have power to do this.
Right.
So, you know, we just showing y'all who have power to whitewash. We don't have power to blackwash.
They weren't able to whitewash all of them. That's all that happened.
Right.
That's all that happened. Says the Virgin and Child from Notre Dame in Le Puy-en-Velay, destroyed in 1794 during the French Revolution, was one of the most popular. A representation of it was included on the frontispiece of this other historical account. So, I'm going to post that. That's the same picture I sent you. what it is they have the original black one, and then they have the more modern whitewashed one. Which is the same. It's the same thing. They just whitewashed it, but then they're gonna tell you, "Oh, it got darkened over the years." Man, these people cannot tell the truth, man. Okay, historical account of the sculpture as black, as we know from other sources, including a painting showing her effigy carried in procession during the plague in 1630. Wait a minute, but I thought it wasn't done before the 1500s. The historian briefly mentions that the complexion of both mother and child recalls that an Ethiopian. Hold on, let me read that again. The historian briefly mentions that the complexion of both mother and child recalls that of an Ethiopian or a Moor. Simply put, a Negro.
Straight up.
Without further explanation, this frontispiece of the second edition adds that she is black but beautiful. A quote from the Song of Songs.
Ain't that something? Beautiful.
Oh my goodness. A hand-colored woodcut of 1523, however, shows both mother and child with fair complexions. The slow blackening of the sculptures has been explained by the darkening of the support. They just keep making excuses.
Cannot tell the truth for nothing.
Support wood or metal of the oil medium, the smoke of candles, and centuries of dust. In fact, the dark color of similar works has often been easily removed during conservation. This means that these sculptures became black only in the 16th and 17th centuries, which led to the development of iconography based on them. A number of works were repainted to make them even darker, in some cases with clear African overtones. Numerous commentaries on the Song of Songs offered various readings of the passage, linking the nature of blackness of Christ's mother to the church. Man, they need to just stop with this crap.
That doesn't even make sense. And not only that, during that time, weren't we in slavery? And during that time, who was in control of all that? So why on God's green earth would they switch it and make it darker when they pushing white man Jesus?
Remember we did that class.
Right.
These white images only came to be once they started putting us in slavery.
Exactly.
They started in 1391. They started doing this. These people, man, this is the greatest.
That's why I'm glad we did the timeline, because showing y'all where this stuff started and how it started and who's doing it. We just read in scriptures who's behind all this.
Would not tell the truth for nothing.
Want to make excuses. See, that's stuff like that is what blows my mind.
Boy, I tell you. It says in the cathedral of Chartres, the Black Virgin destroyed by. I think I read that already. Where is that right there? So. Oh, okay. This next one says, it is at this altar, which is called Notre Dame. No, that might have been right then. Okay. So in the Cathedral of Chartres, the Black Virgin, destroyed by revolutionaries in 1793, was a Romanesque work. In an account of 1671, the historian of the cathedral, Vincent Sablon, provides an interesting account. It is at this altar, which is called Notre Dame sous terre, that the people of Chartres and the pilgrims pay their greatest devotion. She, the Virgin, is seated on the throne, holding her son in her arms. She is black or Moorish in color, as are nearly all the images of the Virgin in Chartres. These people are liars, bro. And the Druids are thought to have given her this color because she came from a country more exposed to the sun than ours. The real color of her skin is not known. Never it lies. But one can imagine it from what Solomon, in a prophetic spirit, said that she was dark but not lacking in beauty. They make me sick. They make me sick.
That's this man doing what he does, y'all.
Oh my goodness. Such rare accounts reflect the need to explain the presence of black virgins. See, so they feel the need to explain it away, see. But they'll tell you that they're not racist.
Right.
But you're not putting no black Jesus, black Mary before them. They can't take it. They can't take it.
Right.
Such rare accounts reflect the need to explain the presence of black virgins through theology and traditional information. But the embarrassment they caused was not easily reversed by the theological sources. Oh, so you can't explain it with the scriptures. And especially so when the child was also dark in complexion. The tradition was powerful. However, and Canon Waston des Figueretes offered a black virgin and child to the Cathedral of Chartres in 1507. Theologians propose answers. The blackness of the spouse in Song of Songs was seen as standing for love and charity applied to black virgins. What the hell are they talking about, spouse? Song of Solomon 1 says the Song of Songs, which is Solomon. See, as long as they've been in control, it's been lies. As long as they've been the theologians, it's been nothing but lies. Dang.
We keep telling y'all. The father of lies.
This man constantly telling on himself, too. All right. How
much more you have?
Not much. The virgin's complexion was dark because she was sunburned.
Hold on. Let's get this straight. We're dark-skinned people. You get sunburned, Jake?
No.
I don't get sunburned. The people I know that get sunburned is the Edomites. And when they get sunburned, they turn red.
Yeah. That's how they get to turn rednecks.
So I don't know. I don't know. Hold on. Read that one more time, Jake. Make sure I heard it correctly.
According to him, whoever this dude is, the virgin's complexion was dark because she was sunburned.
That's foolish. We just told y'all we're dark-skinned people. All my life, I never had a sunburn before. I'm in the sun every day. Okay? Matter of fact, we work in the sun, don't we, Jay? We work in the sun every day. We get dark. We never get sunburned. The only people I know that get sunburned that I know is none of the Edomites.
Yeah, we might get a little, we'll turn like a shade darker.
Right. But I'm saying when they get sunburned and they turn red.
So yeah. So this is what he said. This is what he's trying to do. Said the virgin's complexion was dark because she was sunburned. The blackness stands for, among other things, her effusive humility. Man, shut up. The Song of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 6. Look not upon me because I am black.
Right.
Because the sun have looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards. But mine own vineyard have I not kept. This is not no lover of Solomon.
Right.
Verse 1. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. They need to stop, man. They suppose theologians. What they are is liars.
Straight up.
Liars.
Straight up.
Man, you talk about speaking great words against the Most High.
We just read it. Speak great words against the Most High.
All right, let me continue reading this crap. Says slowly, such accounts must have taken into consideration the fact that the virgin's blackness was compatible with the church's spread over the world. What? including Africa and the Americas, where black virgins gained a new prominence. This don't make no sense whatsoever.
They don't.
Just like the dude talking about burned in the furnace means it's glowing. It don't make no sense whatsoever. There's no relation in this at all.
But these other people that teach people, they're your theologians. They are the ones in your Bible colleges. They're the ones who give you the ideologies of how they think. But we just proving to y'all they try to do everything they can to keep Christ and Mary from being what we know as black. They hate it. They hate the black Messiah. They hate it's racism. It's funny. It's funny how they can disguise it by saying I'm not racist.
They try. They
trying their best, but they're already showing y'all what they really are. Because you don't see us walking around here painting images. You just would never see it. Historically, you've never known any so-called black person to blackwash anything. That's fool. I never heard. That's the first time I ever heard something like that before. Blackwash? Are you serious,
bruh?
What's up?
So here's the last one I got.
Okay.
This crazy.
Right.
It says, in regard to saints, the most important medieval development was the transformation of Maurice. Transformation? There's so many pictures and statues of Saint Maurice, you can't get around it. They even got Maurice in Africa. He all throughout Europe. He's a famous saint. He led an army of 600 black Christian soldiers. And he talking about transformation? They didn't blackwash him. You can't get around it. You can Google that joint, man. And the dude gonna pop up with a chainmail on. That's Saint Maurice. Matter of fact, I got him in this book. I'm gonna post it. Man, these people, my goodness. Damn. There's no end to the lies. All right, there's the Madonna, the original one and the whitewashed one. All right, now, Revelation 1.
Yep.
We're almost done, y'all. boy, these people, man. Revelation 1, verse 14.
Start at verse 3.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Revelation chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein. For the time is at hand.
The time is at hand for the revealing of the true Messiah, the true Christ, the black Messiah. Because we get sick and tired of hearing these difficult stories of them lying about how the true image of Christ is and how you're trying to make excuses about what Christ will look like. Okay? Go ahead.
What verse?
You can jump down to
13.
Yeah.
All right, Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So his head and his hairs were white like wool. So it gives you his head, which is his hair on top of his head, like the pure wool, like his father.
Yep.
Like it says even in the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 9. It shows you that. And then it says his hairs, which was on his beard, was woolly and white as well. Okay.
Yeah. So while we're reading this, I'm gonna hide that.
Yeah. How that posted up. We showing you how our brothers would look.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Because the prophecy in Genesis 49, verse 12, he drank wine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the prophecy in Genesis chapter 49, verse 12. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass.
Yeah, it says like. It didn't say it was it didn't say it was in a furnace. It was just like into fine brass. Go ahead.
As if they burned in a furnace.
As if they burned in a furnace. Not say it was burning in a furnace. It was as if it was that dark, as if it burned in a furnace, which we would show the difference in how it would look today when you see these busts for these Hall of Fame football players.
Yeah, that's what we're showing.
Uh-huh.
So, and it says burned.
Yes.
Burned, not burning, burned. Past tense.
Past tense, right.
Goodness. And his voice as the sound of many waters. So he won't like this white man Jesus they have in these movies talking all soft. How can you speak to 5,000 people at one time like that?
Well, since we said that, Jake, let's go to John chapter 7, verse 38. Because you got to believe on Christ as the scripture saith.
Yep.
Not based on how your pastor say or based on your theologians. You got to believe on Christ even tells you this. Christ tells you this straight up.
The book of St. John, chapter 7, and verse
38.
Can I start at 37?
You can.
Verse 37. In the last day, that great day of the feast, Jesus stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink.
If any man thirst of righteousness, okay, or have an understanding, come to Christ and you gain that understanding. He would give you that water.
Yep.
That understanding.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
He would give you that. Go ahead.
Verse 38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture have said.
So as you believe on Christ, the scriptures just describe how Christ looked. So we have to believe as it is written, not based on what they tell you in theology school. Based on what the scriptures say as it is written.
Like you see, in theology, they gonna lie to you.
Exactly.
Just like what we just read, them lying.
Exactly. So what does the scripture say again?
He that believeth on me, as the scripture have said.
Go ahead.
Out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Of the higher level of understanding. Out of his belly, out of his spirit shall flow. The same way you seeing brothers, various brothers, is starting to flow with the truth. With different organizations, brothers are bringing out this marvelous truth. They're exposing the lies. That's how you know that truth is springing out of the earth, brothers and sisters. Truth is coming out, and they don't like the truth. They hate the truth.
Remember a few classes back, we went to Zechariah 4, and I was saying how Christ is in the middle of the olive trees.
Right.
And the candlesticks, they go to him, that golden oil, that understanding, go from him to us. Right. Same thing. This water, you believe on him as the scripture said, you get that water from him.
Yeah.
Then you give that water to your people. Out of your belly, that water coming to your people.
That's right. That's right. So that's basically it?
Yep, that's it. That's it.
Okay, so 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 21 to finish up, brothers and sisters. That's what we have to keep in mind, y'all. This is a spiritual fight, y'all. We're fighting spiritually. Why? Because they want to push all these lies. Go ahead.
Wickedness in high places.
Better believe that.
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called.
You were called into this marvelous truth. Make no mistake about that. Man didn't call you into this. The Most High Christ called you into this. Go ahead.
Because Christ also suffered for us.
Because Christ suffered for us, which just happens to be you so-called blacks and so-called Hispanics whose fathers are Negroid and Indian descent. We are the biblical Israelites. Make no mistake about that. Go ahead.
Leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps.
We follow Christ's steps. That's who we follow. Go ahead.
Who did no sin.
Go ahead.
Neither was guile found in his mouth. Who, when he was reviled not again. When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously.
And that's who we must commit ourselves to, is to the Most High Christ. Keep that in mind, brothers and sisters. the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 29, to finish up on today's topic.
The book of Acts, chapter 5, and verse 29.
Go ahead.
Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said,
Go ahead.
we ought to obey God rather than men.
And that's who we must obey, brothers and sisters. We must obey the Most High Christ rather than the silly ideologies of men and lies of men that we just witnessed. We must obey the Most High in Christ seriously. Seriously speaking, y'all. We want to give the Most High in Christ all the praise and glory for allowing us to even bring this truth out, to bring out some of the scholarship, the wonderful scholarship, and the understanding, and in the history, because that's something you need. You need the history to figure out why are these people doing what they're doing. Okay, that's what we have to keep in mind, y'all.
Yeah, it gives gravity to it,
right?
And help you understand even better what you're reading in the scriptures.
Yeah, and it goes hand in hand. It's amazing how the Bible, it's funny how it goes hand in hand with the Bible. It just does. That's one thing about it. But like I said before, brothers and sisters, y'all stay strong, stay prayed up, and stay studying. Because you best believe Satan does not take any coffee breaks. Believe you that. Okay? All right? So like I said before, Most High Christ bless everybody. And with that, I want to say, Shalom.